In this video, I'm going to share the power of silence as described by various sages and spiritual teachers throughout history. How silence is the truth, and everything else that can be spoken in words and language and can be thought is not the truth. This idea is expressed in various spiritual traditions, and yet we ignore or overlook this. So, the first saint or seer is Ramana Maharshi. He says, silence is the most powerful form of teaching. It is the perfect language. So he emphasizes that the ultimate truth cannot be spoken in words, cannot be grasped by words. It is only realized in stillness and silence. It is only known in silence because words are the hindrance, words are the obstacle. Language is something that makes you think, and the thinking mind is the root cause of all falsehood and ignorance. The same or the similar is said by Nisargadatta Maharaj. That is, he says, the real is beyond the mind. Words can only point to the truth, but they are not the truth. So what happens is we find ourselves and so engrossed and entangled in words that we do not even consider sitting in silence or dropping or dissolving these words in silence. So only when you become wordless, you choose to become thoughtless. When you realize that nothing real is in these words. For example, when you call something an object, for example, you call and name that object in the sky moon. You name that object moon. Does it become moon just by mere naming? You named it and it became moon? No, it doesn't work like that. It is something that you are perceiving, but it is not the moon, right? And same is the case with you, your self-image. Whatever you think about yourself is not real ultimately because it is in words and concepts and ideas. So understand that we are entangled and trapped in these words, and that is the source of suffering, and that itself keeps us from liberation. That's what Ramana Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj say. Thou that can be spoken is not the eternal thou. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. Words, he taught, can only hint at the ineffable thou, the way. So again and again, the same idea is being conveyed that the words are not the reality. Whoever has realized in this so-called world, they know this truth as a fact that language binds. It's the only bondage, and actual truth is reveals in silence. When you realize that the words are not real, thoughts are not real, the language is not a real, it is not substantial, it is not based on truth, it is not based on my own experience. I have made it up. It is something made up. It is not actual. It is not something I'm experiencing as pure experience. In pure beingness, I have no words, and that is my own. That is myself. And so is the case with you and everyone around us. But we cling to objects, the words, the thoughts, the language, and that itself makes us suffer and feel that we are in a trap. So in Buddhism, there is a quote: a finger pointing to the moon is not the moon. Truth cannot be spoken, that which can be spoken is not the truth. So this is so profound that whatever we speak can only hint at it, can only point towards it, but it is not it. We feel as if these words are true, but even these words are not true. You need to be so vigilant to see that these words just point towards that silent reality, the still presence. These are just overlay. These are not the truth as it is. So the last quote is by Mr. Eckhart. God is word unspoken. So this is also really profound, because God is word unspoken. God cannot be spoken, because as we speak, we create duality. Just as we speak, we are creating duality. When I say I know God, that is dual, because there is an I and there is a God. But in reality, there is no such thing. There is no object and subject duality. There is only one. And that one is only realized in silence. And unless you do not see the unreality of words, and you do not see that these words are just made up for our own convenience, it's not substantial and it's not actual. So do not confuse your reality, the reality of one that is present right here, right now, in your own experience, but it is obscured by the language that you speak. And you are so enthralled by this language that you are not able to take a step back and see that, yes, there is a reality in silence. There is truth in silence. And whoever has realized, has known this, that truth is only in silence. You cannot realize yourself and be talkative about it. You cannot talk about truth. You cannot speak about truth. It's so deep, it's so profound, and even these words do not justify, give justice to what this is, what the reality is. Yet we try. So truth must be known by dropping all these words, or realizing there is no reality behind these words and it's all made up, and you face truth by being truth, by being truth, by being what is right now, right here. So set aside these words that you are attaching yourself with. These are not going to help you in your spiritual journey. However profound the words are, you need to let go of them one day or the other. The sooner you let go of them, the better. All this chatter was only to point towards silence. And if you do not sit in silence, this is all in vain. So do consider sitting quiet, sitting in silence, still, and meditate.